Ian versus Daddy Bones. It's time to kick off August with Masters of the Universe Cartoon Collection.
Fuck Ian Daddy Bones. Fuck Twin Widow, whatever the hell it is. No one gives a shit about you, Ian. Everyone hates you. Fuck off.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Having a banger and you're all invited. Share with friends and I'll see you later. Bring everyone, invite my haters. Throw your hands in the fucking air. Let's push a cripple down a flight of stairs. Got new shit right for your ears. My Hadouken is downright fierce. Rock out with my cock out. Jump around, I got your shout outs. I'm Daddy Bones, no need to panic. Talking riddles like a schizophrenic.
Welcome back! It's another exciting episode of Ian versus Daddy Bones. I am Ian Daddy Bones. I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook right now, hey everybody, what's going on? As always, I got a special high five and enough dap to all my Facebook and Patreon subscribers going the extra mile, down the orange track, picking up speed, supporting the brand for only $2 a month, $3 a month, $2 on Facebook, $3 on Patreon, getting access to bonus content and the Original Geeks podcast. Speaking of the Original Geeks podcast, and I figured this would be the best time on this episode of the show to make this announcement. Right now, this is episode 80 of Ian vs. Daddy Bones. I have officially made it 80 episodes since I started this new project, which is now over a year and a half old. I'm almost 2 years into Ian versus Daddy Bones once we end summer, roll into fall, and between Halloween and November, I'm going to celebrate year 2 of Ian versus Daddy Bones. So this is no longer my new show. It's my current been doing this for a while now show. So with that said, I have put a lot of thought into this, and no, spoiler alert, I am not pulling the plug on the show. This is not the last episode, but what it will be is the final episode in what I refer to as the current format of Ian versus Daddy Bones. Starting with episode 81, I am no longer doing the hour-long episodes of Ian versus Daddy Bones. The episodes, I'm going to try my best to keep them 30 minutes. I'm trying to cut the length of the overall show in half because A, I'm getting more eyes on my content than ever. Like, my numbers are rising, I'm getting more views, my reach is doing really good. I don't have to show my eggplant or take my clothes off in order to make money on the internet, and I'm really proud of that. I mean, it's still an option. I'm still willing to, consider it someday. But right now, I just like playing with these type of toys in front of a camera, you know what I'm saying? But basically what I'm saying is the internet's changing. The algorithms are changing. People's tastes not only are changing, but they've been changing. And with me being a 80s, 90s kid who's seen technology evolve over the course of my life, I've seen tech evolve. Understanding how algorithms work and shit like that is something completely new to me. So basically what I'm getting at, this whole TikTok generation, Facebook Reel generation, they don't have time for hour-long shows. And I totally get that. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to be taking what would be a normal hour-long episode of Ian versus Daddy Bones, and I'm going to be splitting it into 2 shows. Kind of like a Garbage Pail Kid. You're going to have the 30-minute show where I focus on the content, and then to include with bonus content for the Patreon and the Facebook subscribers, I will have the rambling, the sidebars, all the shit that gets me distracted when I'm normally doing an episode of Ian versus Daddy Bones and trying to stay on topic. So I'm already taking advantage of my Google Notes document and making notes and little bullet points and shit to separate the two. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. Shorter episodes for Ian versus Daddy Bones, and in a normal situation where it would come to right now in front of me, I have 6 Masters of the Universe Origins characters. Normally, I would like open 2 figures on the show and then open the rest of them up for the Patreon subscribers. But like I'm saying, people's tastes are changing. People absorb their content differently nowadays, and especially with me being a content creator, I have goals that I have to hit every week in order to keep my momentum going, and part of that is dropping daily content. So I can't have daily content if I'm basically blowing my wad all at once. So I'm starting to reevaluate what I'm going to be doing and talking about on the show. I mean, not reevaluating. It's going to be Masters of the Universe. It's going to be WWE. It's going to be Turtles. It's going to be Hot Wheels, Garbage Pail Kids. It's going to be everything that I've been doing for the past year and a half. Now I'm just trying to produce it in more smaller, digestible bits, as the best way I can explain it. Between what I'm publishing publicly, what I'm making available exclusively for my subscribers, because Daddy needs to eat, Daddy needs to buy toys, and at this point, my anniversary is right around the corner. I gotta find my wife a present, and I think this year it would be a perfect opportunity to get my wife a girlfriend, because I will totally eat some pussy for some Legos. You know what I'm saying? So, more digestible bits, smaller episodes, more daily content across the social media, and more bonus content for the Patreon subscribers. Because the reality is, I have so much time in the week, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of burning the candle at both ends, and I've been burning the candle at both ends for a while. I'm a one-man band. It's just me doing this show, and you know, don't worry, I got my people rooting for me, cheering me on, supporting me. Trust me, I see everybody who is supporting the brand. I know who's fucking with me right now and who's not fucking with me right now. So everybody who's fucking with me right now, I am totally aware of everybody supporting the brand, and I thank each and every one of you for helping me level up and grow and make it this far. And that's what it's all about. Right now it's all been about growth. I got so much bonus content on the Facebook. Well, starting off on the Facebook. Facebook subscribers is still new to me. I'm still trying to put out plenty of content for those guys since they're new. But for everybody on Patreon who's been rocking with me since day one, they've been there watching me build and grow the entire bonus content library and archive that's available right now for your $3 a month. So support the brand, go check out the Patreon. But like I said, this is the sidebar rambling content I'm gonna try and cut out of the show and put into the bonus content. But overall today, what we're gonna talk about to kick off the month of August, this line is officially turning like 1 year old, because San Diego Comic-Con just wrapped up, and Mattel had its Masters of the Universe reveals, and I'm going to be talking about that on the first episode of the Original Geeks podcast in August. But they had cartoon collection reveals this year, but last year the full line was officially unveiled, and it's coming up. It's basically celebrating its 1 year anniversary. And over the course of the past year, I have waited for the cartoon collection figures to become available for pre-order, wait for them to arrive, then they chill in my pile of loot for a little bit, like 2 months, until I'm ready to ship the new stuff. And then they stay remaining in a box for a couple of months until I'm ready to do the episode of Ian versus Daddy Bones, where it's their time to shine, like right fucking now. So over the course of the past year, I was able to start collecting Masters of the Universe Cartoon Collection. And for those of you who don't know, Masters of the Universe Cartoon Collection is a continuation / side road from the Masters of the Universe Origins brand that I have been collecting for the past 4 years, almost at this point. And basically, with the regular Origins figures that are inspired and based on the 80s vintage Masters of the Universe line, basically they're almost at the end. They're almost complete with the original vintage line. At this point, they announced some characters coming out through Mattel Creations next spring, 2025. So at this point, they're basically under the final 10 remaining figures from the vintage line to basically call Origins Vintage a wrap. So when Origins cartoon collection got announced, Masters of the Universe Origins at retail was basically hitting wave 15. And it was last year at San Diego Comic-Con that Mattel made the announcement that starting in 2024, Masters of the Universe Origins was going to be pulled from retail. It was going to cease to exist at retail because Origins retail spot, its pegs at Walmart and Target, are now going to be occupied by the new Turtles of Grayskull line and the new Cartoon Collection line. So it's not that Origins ran its course or failed by any means. Masters of the Universe Origins was a fucking success, and it's still going strong. But it reached a point to where they put out enough waves at retail to where some figures were not selling. Some figures remained what's known as peg warmers, which means no matter no matter how many times you go to Walmart or Target, you're always going to see naked Stratos hanging on a peg. You're always going to see Jitsu or Buzz Off because those are the figures that weren't that popular when they got released. So you have your fair share of peg warmers. So the Turtles of Grayskull and the Cartoon Collection lines are replacing Origins at retail and have been replaced Origins at retail. And they've been showing up in stores, and they should be available at your Targets and Walmarts. But I ordered mine online. I pre-ordered them. And like I said, I had them shipped out to me. But the thing is, Masters of the Universe Cartoon Collection, what it is if you look at it through the way Marvel and a lot of television and comic books are right now, it's all about alternate realities, alternate timelines, variant dimensions, you know what I mean? And Cartoon Collection, I look at it as a separate alternate reality that exists within Masters of the Universe, because this was explained in the Masters of the Multiverse comic book, where like the cartoon spoiler alert, Cartoon Collection is what they are calling Filmation. They can't use the name Filmation because Mattel doesn't own it. They don't have the rights to it. So what they're doing is they're calling it Cartoon Collection, but the word cartoon is in a font logo style that looks identical to the Filmation logo. So to Masters of the Universe fans, we know what this fucking is. But to rewind it to the Masters of the Universe Classics line, they were able to get the Filmation license to use the Filmation versions of the Masters of the Universe characters, because that's the thing. Like with me growing up, I had Masters of the Universe, I had He-Man, I had Skeletor, I had my action figures from the toy line. Then the cartoon came out. And like I said, the cartoon came out through Filmation, which was an animation studio that put out, other cartoon series over the years. And, as far as Filmation was concerned, Masters of the Universe was just another brand for them to produce shows for. And we had the cartoon and we had the toy line, but everybody that grew up with He-Man knows that the toy line figures and the characters, the way they were represented in the cartoon, it seemed like two different worlds, even though it was the same fucking thing. It's just there were subtle differences. There were some design changes between characters. Some characters look completely different from their cartoon counterpart to the actual action figure, and some characters from the cartoon series became canon within Masters of the Universe toy line. Like, for example, Orko was an original character for the Masters of the Universe cartoon, But because Orko was so popular as a new character, fan demand pretty much made Mattel have no choice but to put Orko out immediately in the toy line so we could add Orko to our collections, because we're seeing him all the time through the cartoon, even though they were always kept as like two separate properties. And in the 80s, we never got Filmation cartoon versions of the Masters of the Universe characters in action figure form. So we never had a He-Man figure that looked like the cartoon's likeness. Same thing with Skeletor and the other characters. And like I said, like some characters have like different colors. They have different appearances between their colors and their outfits and whatnot. And you know, there was so much shit to make you scratch your head as a kid watching the cartoon and playing with your toys at the same time. Like you're looking up at the screen and then you're playing with your toys and you're like, you know, why is Trapjaw like, why is he all pink on the cartoon show for like his like robot arm and shit, but he's got the black mechanical arm with the toy? Doesn't make any fucking sense. But the thing is, we never got the Filmation characters as figures. But when I'm in my 20s, approaching my 30s, Masters of the Universe Classics comes out, and Masters of the Universe Classics, you know, they managed to put out every single fucking figure from all the Masters of the Universe brands in like one scale. Like, Classics crawled so Masterverse can currently run, even though there's a lot of collectors who prefer their Classics over their Masterverse, and I accept that. They're allowed to, because I mean, to me, I kind of consider those type of collectors a little upper level elite, because they were able to participate and capitalize on opportunities as a collector that I wasn't able to at the time. Not saying I'm jealous of Classics collectors by any means, because I'm enjoying everything that I have right now between Origins, Cartoon Collection, Turtles of Grayskull, and Masterverse. But I definitely remember seeing Classics promoted heavily through like Toy Fair and Wizard magazine, that I definitely wish I could have participated in Classics back in the day. But by no means am I like that super jealous or envious or whatnot. But like I said, the Cartoon Collection, the Filmation versions of the characters did get released through Masters of the Universe Classics. Super 7 even had the license at one point, so they put out, you know, separate from Masters of the Universe Classics, they had Filmation version of the characters, and they even had something that's called Club Grayskull that had Filmation versions of the characters in action figure form. Like I said, I wasn't collecting those figures at the time. I was pretty much aware of their existence through internet and websites, and like I said, Wizard magazine, Toy Fair magazine, seeing figures being advertised and shit. So definitely was on my radar, even though I was never in a position to participate. But I'm gonna take a break real quick, and when I get back, we're gonna run through, I don't know what to call it, wave 1.5, because I know I don't have both complete waves 1 and 2 right here, but we'll see what I got. Alright, we are back. Now, like I said, you know, these are the Cartoon Collection figures. I finally get a line of Masters of the Universe figures with the characters based on their designs from the cartoon series I had growing up. And they're absolutely sick, and I'm going to get into them in just a second. But the thing is, you know, the packaging design is great, because it shows the artwork is like scenes from episodes of the show, because the one cool thing about buying these figures again Like, all 6 of these figures I already own in Masterverse, you know what I mean, in Origins. Some of them have variants. Actually, all of them have variants. So I at least bought these characters like 3 to 4 times already. But the difference is, the gimmick and selling point with the cartoon collection figures is all of the figures come with an artifact, right? From an item that appeared in an episode of the cartoon that had like some significance on the plot and served the purpose. So it's really cool seeing some of these figures come with these little artifacts and trinkets and whatnot. But I'm gonna run through. I have Wave 1 and I have half of Wave 2. And looking at the back of the cross sale art, I will get to that. I will get to those in a moment. But starting off with Wave 1, as always, we got He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. And now, unfortunately, this He-Man, because I'm noticing as I'm looking on the back, unfortunately, my He-Man and my Beastman figure both have the international packaging, which means there's not a lot of text other than his name. There's no description on the back. And, yeah, it kind of fucking sucks. Even the mini comic inside the package doesn't have any word bubbles. And yeah, the international packaging kind of sucks. It only matters if you live in one of the countries that this figure is meant to be sold in. So that way, hey, I found it, and it's not going to be hard as balls for me to find it, since it's impossible for a lot of people overseas to actually complete their collections, and it's a pain in the ass with shipping. But I don't have to worry about that because I live in New York. But this He-Man figure now, and I feel like an idiot too, because it's like, oh look, Mr. He-Man fan doesn't know what episode of the TV show this is from. But this He-Man figure, he comes with his power sword. Now, he does not come with his axe, he does not come with his shield, because the reality is, in the Masters of the Universe cartoon, He-Man never really had the shield. You never really saw the shield in the cartoon, and he didn't have the axe. I think if He-Man had the axe, it would be a little too Conan the Barbarian and maybe a little too violent. But he kind of needed to have the power sword, because that was the whole point of him transforming from Prince Adam to He-Man. So he's got his power sword, but this He-Man also comes with another sword. He comes with a gray sword that it shows on the back of the packaging art here, as I take my glasses off because I'm getting fucking old. But it's basically He-Man and Skeletor are standing in front of this crystal stone, and there's some, like, it looks like some monk or whatnot, but He-Man is holding this second sword that comes with him. It looks like it's a cursed sword or something, but he's basically pulling the power sword out of Skeletor's hands with it. Now, I'm going to have to go back and review what episode of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe this is from. If it was the U.S. North American packaging, it would tell me from the episode right up there in the corner, but it doesn't. And it would even tell me what the name of the damn accessory is, but since it's the international packaging, it doesn't. But as you can see, it's He-Man as he looked in the Filmation cartoon. Now, he's got his wrist gauntlets, he's got his belt, and it's got like a smooth surface texture to it, where the regular He-Man, when he's rocking his belt, he's got like these globes or these orbs, so it's like circle, 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 big circle in the middle, circle, 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 going around his belt. But in the cartoon, it's a smooth texture on the belt and the wrist gauntlets. He still has the furry boots. He still has the furry pants. Now, I believe this is a slightly different torso than the He-Man that is in the regular Origins line, because they use I guess this uses a different body buck for the cartoon collection figures. And I mean, from what I understand, it's very similar in scale. You can't really tell a difference, even though it's just a visual difference. But he's also wearing his classic He-Man battle harness, only instead of being a gray. This seems to be more like it looks like a gunmetal blue. Slightly with the shade on his battle harness. Maybe it's the way the light's reflecting off the packaging, but it's kind of like a gunmetal bluish gray on his battle harness with the He-Man Iron Cross on the front. And yeah, that's a pretty badass He-Man figure, I do gotta say. And moving on with the good guys, you got He-Man's right-hand man, Man-at-Arms, heroic master of weapons. Now, I'm sure that would have said He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe, as it should. Yep, it does. It says the most powerful man in the universe. Now, the back of Man-at-Arms' packaging says, includes the stasis ray. As seen on the episode The Dragon Invasion. So, Man-at-Arms, on the back of the packaging, he's using the stasis ray that comes with him. He's using it on a dragon. So the stasis ray, you see it right there in the packaging, is his bonus accessory that he comes with in additional to his battle mace. But the one thing I'm going to notice about this Man-at-Arms, like, he still has the same smooth texture on his, like, belt and bracers and whatnot. But I'm noticing with his armor, he has double shoulder armor on both arms, and he has double shin armor. I'm just noticing that and pointing that out because the regular Man-at-Arms figure only has like one orange piece of arm armor. He only comes with like one piece of leg armor. So he's got one on one leg, one on the other type shit. But this one actually has armor on both arms like he does in the cartoon. So he looks absolutely fucking sick. And he has a mustache like he's supposed to. That we first saw in the cartoon as kids that completely blew our fucking minds as we tried to figure out why does he have a mustache in the cartoon but my action figure doesn't? It's just the little things. They just, little running switch ups and changes they do in the production that changes the course of kids and their favorite toys forever. But moving on, we got Teela, heroic warrior goddess. Teela comes with a training robot, as seen in the episode Pawns of the Games Master. So the back of the packaging art shows Teela facing off against this training robot that's shooting a laser at her, and she's blocking it with her shield. And this Teela comes with the training robot, but she also comes with a short sword, and she comes with a shield. Now, I'm pointing that out because this Teela actually looks like Teela is supposed to. And the reason I say that is, you have He-Man, Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, Trapjaw, Beastman. You have your good guys, you have your bad guys. But between the toy line and the cartoon, when you look at Teela, you got the Teela action figure, but she's always wearing this Cobra snake armor, and she's got this staff, and then you see like early mini comics and books and artwork with Masters of the Universe where you see Teela, a version of Teela, where she's got long blonde hair and whatnot, and you're like, who is that? Is that Teela? And it was always weird because there was always like 3 or 4 different versions of the way she was drawn and looked. Especially when she was drawn in like a book with the Cobra armor and whatnot, when they were trying to figure out, are we going to have a sorceress or are we going to have a green goddess? What are we going to do here? They were still fleshing out the toy line because Teela was supposed to be 2 characters in one. If you took the Cobra armor off her, she was Teela the warrior, the warrior, right? But if you put the Cobra armor on her with the staff, now she was the goddess. Now she was the one responsible for giving He-Man his battle harness and his weapons in the very first mini comic that came with the very first He-Man figures. So, then we got a cartoon where they show Teela where she's got, long red hair, but it's in a bun, and she's got this fucking tiara and shit. So it's like, to a lot of kids growing up, this has always been what our Teela looks like in our head, even though we never got an action figure of Teela that looked like this. because the Teela that looked like this only appeared in the cartoon. So for me as a collector and a Masters of the Universe fan, it is absolutely sick and dope right now that I actually have a Filmation cartoon collection accurate version of Teela and the way she looked in the show, because she looks pretty fucking badass in this figure form. And like I said, she comes with the training robot accessory. But before I move on to the bad guys, since He-Man and Man-at-Arms appeared in Wave 1, Skeletor and Beastman make up the other two figures for Wave 1. Since I just talked about Teela, Teela appears in Wave 2. Trapjaw, who is also on the table, appears in Wave 2. Merman and Stratos are the other two figures in this wave that I still need to get. So that's good to know for my mental note of who I need to grab before I move on to Waves 3 and 4, because Waves 3 and 4 are already available and out in stores. So I'm a little behind on Cartoon Collection, but it's all good because I've been having a fucking blast with everything going on. And moving on, like I said, we got Trapjaw. Evil and armed for combat. Now, I gotta say, when I was a kid, and even to this day, Trapjaw has always remained one of my favorite characters of all time. Like, he is one of my goats. I love Trapjaw. He is one of my favorites. And I always was a fan of the way his character looked. And then on the cartoon, I got Cartoon Collection Trapjaw. But it always threw me off on the cartoon how fucking pink this guy was. Not that I have a problem with the color pink, because I most definitely do not have a problem with the color pink. The color pink, especially this shade of Trapjaw pink, is my favorite type of color pink. The Bret the Hitman Heart pink. You know what I mean? So between Trapjaw's Filmation appearance and Bret the Hitman Heart and me growing up in the 80s, I definitely had my exposure to pink. So I love this shade of pink, but it always threw me off because the vintage character had the black mechanical arm and he had the all black legs. So I always looked at this as the inferior version of Trapjaw until I got older and started reflecting and looking back on everything I loved about Masters of the Universe, especially by the time Classics and Super 7 started making Filmation versions of the figures. So it's like I've seen this Filmation version of Trapjaw available by other companies in the past before I was collecting that I never capitalized on. But for me, with collecting these, I'm really glad to finally have a Filmation Cartoon Collection style Trapjaw, because he looks absolutely sick. He's got his gun. He's got his, let's see here. He's got his gun. He's got his hook attachment. And I'm not sure, but it doesn't look like it. Usually Trapjaw comes with 3 attachments. I thought for some reason he was going to have like a pink fly swatter attachment because he had that in one of the episodes. But he doesn't. But he does come with the Eternium Rock from the episode Double-Edged Sword. And on the back it shows Trapjaw holding the Eternium Rock and powering up. And He-Man's trying to hold him off, and it shows Merman in the background. So, like I said, this version of Trapjaw looks fucking dope. And real quick, too, since I'm speaking of Trapjaw, I'm going to make this user-friendly, interactive episode. If you're watching this part of the show right now, and you're on Patreon or Facebook or YouTube, do me a solid. I am going to be opening this Trapjaw figure for a Facebook reel at some point soon. But what I need to do before I open him is I gotta find him a pair of kicks and a skateboard to pair him with. But I'm not sure if I want to go with the Tony Hawk board with the black kicks with the pink Hot Wheels logo, or do I want to go with the Hot Wheels 3D board with the black kicks with the blue Hot Wheels logo? So, engage and interact on the post below right now if you're watching this. Does Trapjaw get the pink kicks? Throw him a pink heart. Does he get the blue kicks? Throw me the blue like. I will tally up the votes and I will open up Trapjaw and I will officially pair him with the pair of kicks and the skateboard that y'all voted for. But moving on, we have Skeletor's other henchman, Beastman. Now, I feel like an idiot right now because I don't know what the fuck Beastman comes with. It looks like I don't know what the hell it is. A shrinking ray, a teleportation ray. All I know is the back of the packaging art shows Beastman using this double-handed gun ray that he has, and he's stealing Dragon Eggs. And it doesn't even say what episodes it's from because it's the international card. But Beastman comes with that accessory. He comes with his whip that the Origins version comes with, only he's got a red handle instead of a black handle. He's got his cartoon, Filmation style, accurate head sculpt. He's in a really fun, bright shade of orange that looks dope. And he's being paired with his bright red armor. Like, this is one of the best Beastman figures I've ever seen and owned. I really like the way he looks and everything about him looks fucking sick. I can't wait to open up this Beastman. And last but not least, we have the evil Lord of Destruction, Skeletor. And Skeletor comes with the Masks of Power, as seen on the episode, The Masks of Power. Skeletor obtained these two artifacts in the show, and he comes with both of these masks that he's able to wear. You can pop off Skeletor's head, and he can wear either one of the masks. Now, Skeletor, he comes with his cartoon accurate version of his armor, which has the crisscross bones, which looks absolutely sick. And yeah, he has his Havoc staff, which is in the purple handle, but he's got the whitish gray granite looking color plastic for the ram stone and the ram head, and that looks absolutely sick. So there you go, right there. Waves 1.5 of Masters of the Universe cartoon collection. Now, I plan on opening these figures this month, but this is where I need y'all to follow me on social media, like my content on Facebook, engage and interact, smash that share button, because I'm going to be dropping these as Facebook and Instagram reels, and I'm going to be posting them free on the Patreon, so, and the YouTube channel for YouTube Shorts. So you're definitely going to see me opening up these figures over the course of August. So once you see the video, do me a favor, smash that share button, throw me a heart, even leave a few choice words like, that's what's up. That's a simple engagement, and that will help me increase my reach, hit my weekly Facebook challenges and goals, and it will definitely help me keep it moving, speeding down the orange tracks of growth and brand upgrading and progression. And I thank each and every one of you for supporting me and what I do with Ian versus Daddy Bones. I'm having an absolute blast in the time of my life right now, and I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for everybody else rooting me on. But before I get out of here, I got a major announcement I want to say. It's kind of news to me. I'm still absorbing it, and I'm very excited. I'm very supportive. But this past Saturday, my daughter Julia, who from this moment going forward on the show will be known as Molly Bishop. And you can spell that M-A-L-I Bishop. Molly Bishop made her debut this past weekend as a ring announcer for High Ground Wrestling in Pennsylvania. My 23-year-old daughter has followed in my footsteps and has officially gotten into the pro wrestling business. And I will say, I, along with some others, who I will refer to as the Wrestle Dad Illuminati, the Wrestle Dad Illuminati and myself, we have tried to steer my daughter away from the wrestling business. I feel there's a lot of good in the wrestling business, and there's some bad in the wrestling business. And last time I checked, my daughter wasn't the biggest wrestling fan growing up. But the one thing I'm taking into consideration and looking at is all it takes is that one match. All it takes is that one storyline to really hook you and be like, wow, I fucking love this shit. You know what I mean? And she's been around indie wrestling since she was like 9, 10 years old. When I first got into the wrestling business, and I've done ring announcing, I've done managing, you know, I've set rings up, I've toured rings down, I helped set up shows, I sold tickets, you know what I mean? I rode in cars to different venues in different towns and have been a part of different companies over the course of the past 12 to 14 years. And, you know, I'm not active in indie wrestling right now, and a lot of the reason why I'm not active in indie wrestling is because I had to step away and be dad. I needed to step away, and I needed to be Julia's dad. And all I'm gonna say is I've been spending the past 12 years keeping my daughter alive, and at the end of the day, it was totally worth it because I kept her alive, not knowing I needed to keep her alive because someday she's gonna take my spot. So she deserves all the encouragement, all the support right now. Support Molly Bishop, my baby girl, as she starts her journey in the pro wrestling world as a ring announcer. She had one show this past weekend. I posted a video of her ring announcing a match, and shout out to the reinforcer, Andrew Anderson. It really blew my mind when I saw that video, and I'm like, oh shit, she's ring announcing one of Drew's matches. That's pretty fucking dope. But, you know, she's starting something, and it's exactly what she needs. She needs the support, she needs the encouragement, and I'm behind my baby girl 100%. So, congratulations, Julia. Just make sure you shake those hands and always thank your promoter. And until next time, cheers, Pete!
Fuck Ian Daddy Bones. Fuck Twin Widow, whatever the hell it is. No one gives a shit about you, Ian. Everyone hates you. Fuck off.
Oh my god, I'm so excited, having a banger and you're all invited. Share with friends and I'll see you later. Bring everyone, invite my haters. Throw your hands in the fucking air. Let's push a cripple down a flight of stairs. Got new shit right for your ears. My Hadouken is downright fierce. Rock out with my cock out. Jump around, I got your shout outs. I'm Daddy Bones, no need to panic. Talking riddles like a schizophrenic. 24/7, I got the party. Roofie roos and whoop-de-doos. Retarded fools with attitudes, bro. Everything's mixed with Bacardi. Glow stick black like tons of bubbles. Titties on bitches, nothing but trouble. Got my pills, ain't no quitter. Pop that shit, here comes my glitter. Not a dancer, I got no skills. Bobbing my head and standing still. Tons of bitches, ravers, goths. Down to fuck and get your salad tossed. It's the greatest thing that you ever saw. Put your hands in the air for a party rock. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Having a bang and you're all invited. Kids posing, muscles flexing, Trains dressed like your favorite X-Men. If there's one thing that drives me crazy, you give high fives but you fucking hate me. Might have rabies, might have herpes. Breastfeed me and you'll have to burp me. I'll be up on stage, throwing out beads, grabbing my dick and spraying my seed all over your face. That's fucking rude. Raise it up and show your boobs. Dance around and go friggin' nuts. Just b-boy stance and light your blunts. Don't be a cunt. Tuck your chain, don't start no shit. Use your brain, it's all a game. Let's play some Yahtzee, eat Tide Pods and punch a Nazi. I'm not a dancer, I got no skills. Bobbing my head and standing still. Tons of bitches, ravers, cause. Down the fuck and get your salad tossed. It's the greatest thing that you ever saw. Put your hands in the air for a party rock. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Having a bang and you're all invited.